Hello there. So today I'm going to stream the creation of a web application in Gleam, and possibly, depending how it goes, I will also extract some of that stuff into a package. So maybe the beginnings of a web framework, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Cool. So I've got an empty directory here. I think I'm going to make two Gleam projects. Called one action, and that's going to be the web site. And I'm going to make another one called framework for now. And I'm going to need, what am I going to need? I'm going to need Gleam HTTP. Anything else? I'm going to need Nakai, which is a HTML generation library. What else might I need? Maybe Nakai doesn't belong in the framework, at least not to start. We can move it over later. Yeah, let's just start with HTTP. Oh, we need a web server. Does that belong in the framework? I don't know. Maybe. Let's start without the web server. And then in the application, we can start with the web server. Do you want those? Yeah, we definitely want a web server and HTML generation. So let's start with those things. And the web app should depend on a Gleam web application. Let's be brave, let's start version 1. And it should also depend on the framework. Ooh, let's see if that works. So yeah, the latest version of Gleam deprecated a bunch of syntax, so all the libraries are gonna complain every time we compile for the first time. Cool. So let's go over to let's go here. So what do we want? We want to have a little Mist web server. So let's look up the docs for Mist. Alchemist. Yeah. That looks vaguely like what I want. I'm not sure this is the API I want. I think I want the service. Isn't there a service one somewhere? Run service. Yep. This is what I want. This is much simpler. And oh, my door's blowing in the wind. I might stop that in a second. Let's make the web app. Okay, so it takes a request. That is a request. Response. So that is the request, and the body is going to be a bit string. And it returns a response where the body is a bit builder, I think. We could just do nothing for now. So that is this bit. And let's just silence that warning about the request because we're not using it, and we just return Okay. Oh. Yeah, not bad. But we want to bit builder from string. It's not called map body, it's just called map. Cool, that works. Maybe. So if let's make this smaller. If I run it, it's hanging. That's good. It's doing something. Let's query it. What port did I say this runs on? 8080? I don't like that. Let's do 8000. Hello world. Let's just check that that is actually the right server. Hello Joe. It's distinctly possible I'm just running a second server somewhere. Hello Joe. Good. Right. What do we actually want? So I'm going to just copy lots of stuff from an existing web server, I think. So let's do that. GitHub. Herb. So this is a web app. What has it got? It installs a log handler. Yeah, that sounds good. Makes a database. Constructs an application. Prints. That sounds good. Let's print. Oh, I've got to remember to switch scene when I change windows. I'm a bit new to this. 8000. Cool. There we go. Now it prints. So I guess we want to have this bit. Let's see what that does. So where do roots live? Web roots. Oh, lots of stuff. Okay, so it's just this handle request function, and that method override, that sounds really good. And yeah, like all of these things sound like they belong in a framework, really. Although, like, none of them are particularly opinionated. I feel like, well, none of them particularly out there. So, like, they could quite happily just go in Gleam HTTP, perhaps. One moment, sorry, I was going to reply to a message. Cool. Yeah, I was sort of hoping that, like, as I was doing this, things would just pop up and be like, this should go in a framework, but it's not super obvious what that should be like. I think anytime I just have something like utility, rescue errors, I'll just put those in the framework. And then maybe I'll make a pull request to Gleam HTTP to pull them out. Okay, let's start with let's just start by making like some states context type thing. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can just have like a couple routes just to like represent what the different routes would be, and then we can sort of fill everything up around that. So inside the so context. So a context is going to have a wrong brackets, has the request, and that is going to be request of a bit string. Yeah, that makes sense. And then state could be, that could just be a parameter, I suppose. Yeah. With lowercase. Oh, thanks, Jay. I hope Gleam catches on as well. Be a real shame if I worked on this for like 5+ years and then it was like, nah, no point in that. So what if what if we had what if the handle request function went from this context thing of we don't have a state yet to response. Is that what we want? I think that would make sense. So the app starts by making a yeah, basically that. Makes a context, pops the request in, and then for state we just say nil for now. And then it can call handle request with the context. Oh hey! Hey Ben, welcome. And then, but like you could also like here, this would be where all the middleware goes. So we'd have like you know, framework dot method override, etc. Put our middleware stack here. Yeah, let's do that. So let's grab these. There we go. Why don't I run the tests at the same time? That probably makes sense. And when we're testing this, would we want to be testing it by passing in a context? I think we probably do. So let's do that. Test, action test. So home page not found test, and we want action and Gleam HTTP because we're going to make requests. Request. And do we need a response? I'm not sure we do. So the test will look something like got to import the context. Request state nil because there isn't one yet. Request is going to be request.new. I don't actually know what the Why don't I have auto-completion? Thank you, language server. Very handy. So I'm looking back at the existing one. How do they do it? Tests request. Okay, so let's go to this tests file. With states, track emails, request. That looks handy. To do, move this to a helper module. Oh, I've forgotten to switch over again. Sorry, everyone. And cool, okay. That sounds good. And then if we call action.handle request, hey Rob, we should get back. Actually, say we'll get the response. We'll save it to a variable because I think we're going to make a bunch of assertions about this. Response.status. No, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because we said it's void for. Yay. So the homepage should have something. Homepage. That should return 200. Oh yeah, and folks in the chat, let me know if yeah, let me know if it's too quiet or too loud or anything like that. Like, this is the first time I've got this microphone out of storage for yonks, so. So let's call this not found. Not found. Thanks, dude. Much appreciated. Glad it sounds good. Okay, one passing test. Oh, wrong line. So I can't remember what the function is called. Path info. Path segments. Nice. Nice. Index. I don't like that name. Let's go to homepage. Oops. Homepage. Okay. Homepage. Cool. What should we do now? Should we add HTML? Seems like as good a thing as any. Oh, why don't we test that if you make a non-get request, it isn't happy with that. So what should it be? Should you say like you'd have to pass in the method like that. Yeah, let's do that. So how do you set that? You say like request. Oh, cool, that does work. Can you destructure the request and state in the handle request signature? It seems like you'd end up saying state.state, which seems weird. As in here. Yeah, that's why I've done it. That's why I put it context. So I'm sort of imagining that this context type would live inside the framework, this hypothetical framework I'm thinking about, and it would do things like have a request and maybe you'd understand the user. Like if there's a user, and maybe, I'm not sure what else the framework might give you. Like if it's really opinionated, if it's a really opinionated framework, maybe it would give you the database as well. But I'm not sure I'm quite ready for that. But I think no matter what you do, you're going to end up with situations in which there's going to be additional state that the programmer, the application developer is going to want to add. And so that's the point of having this like parameterized state field here. So this is library code, and then this is your code. But that might be foolish. I don't know. If it's rubbish, I'll just change it later. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just continue, and then I'll be wrong, and then I'll just have to fix it. It's very much I keep writing web apps, and there's hints of some structure that's shared between all of them, and I'm just not quite sure how to pull them out yet into something. And I don't know if that thing is just Gleam HTTP. I think it might be. I think maybe I just start pulling middleware out into Gleam HTTP, and maybe the rest can just be boilerplate. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll work it out. Cool. What did I claim I was going to do? I said I was going to do... Oh, wait, hold on. I'll just commit. Now I've got some stuff. Oops, git init. Oh, but I've got nested git repositories now, haven't I? Because this is a git repository made by Gleam, and so is this one. Oh, and they've also got CI files that I need to do. You know what? Let's make a README. Let's make a to-do list somewhere. Action. A Gleam web application. To do. What do we want to do? Sort out the CI configuration for this mono repo. Hey Kayla. You've arrived just in time. We're going to add HTML. You can probably guess which library I want to use for that. The last commit message I wrote, it me bitch. I'm very professional. I wonder with her changes to not use React, it means you could run it on the back end. Oh, that's weird. Can I like... Ooh. Green bottle. Drinking invisibility potion. Right. Hello, Joe. As is tradition. Cool. So inside action, that is the web framework. No, sorry, that's the web application project. I can't remember if I have Nakai or not. I do. Good. Oh, that'd be nice. You should do that. What do I want to do? Right, so I need to add that fella. Is the language server crashing? No, it looks fine. So, thanks. I found it in the charity shop the other day, and I love it so much. I've also my friend's moving onto a boat, and boats are even smaller than London flats, and as such, she's giving away loads of her stuff. And I've just inherited a Pikachu, like a sort of stuffed Pikachu, which I'm very happy about. So maybe like next stream I'll have it like here or something. What is this? How does that happen? Oh, I'm in the way. How does how does that happen? I think there's a bug in the language server somewhere. I wonder what that's very annoying. Well, if anyone works out what that is, let me know. I am using path depths, yeah. Anyway, so oh wow, it keeps happening. Maybe I need to like reload this. No, wow. I want what could that be? It's trying to read, like the path is wrong here. Oh god, I'm in the wrong. Look, I can move my face. There we go. So the path is wrong here. Like this is saying it's trying to read, go down one directory and then go into framework and read gleam.toml, which is correct from the point of view of the library that's doing the importing. So if you look, I've got, oh, wrong directory. I've got, so if you're inside action and then you're trying to import framework, you would go down and then you'd go to framework and then you'd read Gleam.toml. That makes sense. But in the context of the language server, it's supposed to change everything to absolute paths, because so the language server is just at the root of the editor, which is, oh gosh, that's so annoying, which is where I am now. So somewhere we're using relative paths when we're supposed to be using absolute ones. I don't really want to have to try and fix that now. Yeah, so it's trying to read from the workspace root, but it's using a relative path, which is not based at the workspace root. I think it is probably time for 0.1. Somebody else do it though. I don't want to fix it. Right, let's put me back in the corner. There we go. Oh, it's going to keep coming up. That's going to. Oh, that's not. Why wasn't it doing this minutes ago? I'm just going to get rid of the. I'm just going to get rid of that. There you go. Because I don't think we've actually put anything in. Is that true? Well, I added a path dependency and then was coding for a little bit and then it started happening. So something triggers it, but I couldn't tell you what it is. But do I actually have all the things I need in here? That brings in Gleam HTTP, so that will still work. I'm going to start doing HTML with that, and yeah, standard library. Okay, cool. I think we've got everything we want. So if I wanted to test the request body, how am I going to do that? Because it's currently a bit builder, which is a bit annoying. I just want to say like it contains a certain string. Do I decode it every time? That seems really annoying. Let's go to the other project and see what they do. Do they have one where they... here we go, web tests, auth test. Yeah, so it converts every time. That seems a bit rubbish. What? I'm just going to make a helper. Let's do that. And I'm going to call it string body. Yeah, that'll do. Bit builder. So let assert body and bit builder. Is there a toString? Is that a thing? I don't have response. No, there is not a toString. So we have to turn it into... Oh, do we ever need to return? This web application is only going to do JSON. No, it's not even going to do that. It's only going to do HTML. So let's just work on string builders. Let's do that. That sounds much easier. So string builder. Oh, you don't need to assert. Oh yeah, okay. Because string builder can't fail, only bit builder can fail. Okay. So we want this to be a string builder. And no, response.map bit builder from string builder. Is that a thing? Yeah, cool. Right, so let's continue writing that test. So I want to say that the home page and the response. How am I going to do this? Maybe this help is so not useful. String dot contains how is the experience of watch exec with how is your experience? How is the experience with watch exec running alongside your code? I really like it for tests. It's supposed to also work for long running processes. There's like a flag you can specify to make it interrupt when things change. Yeah, the restart one. But I find sometimes the virtual machine doesn't exit cleanly. So you end up with having multiple ones, which is a bit rubbish. So anytime I'm actually testing the actual web interface itself, I just restart it manually, which is a bit disappointing. What's the advantage of handlers returning a string builder over a string? It's a very slight optimization. Very slight, because Nakai is going to return string builders rather than strings. Is there any point in doing that? I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe we'd want to abstract it a little more. Maybe if we're writing this web framework, it would have a response body type or like response data. And then you wouldn't really need to care what format it is. And the framework could offer a test function, which is just like body contains. But it would be a bit wasteful if you're going to make multiple assertions about it containing something, because you'd have to iterate across the builder multiple times. I'm just going to start with string builders and continue. Like if you're just going to build strings up and throw them at a socket, which is what a web server does, it makes sense to use the builders because then you don't copy anything. Is that true? I don't know. We can benchmark it later, but I'm just going to go with string builders. It contains, what should it contain? Home. I don't want it to contain home. I want it. I'm just going to say hello, Joe. What? Oh, because I didn't actually set. Be true. Banging. Right. So, how are we going to do this? Nakai. What if these all return Nakai dot nodes? I don't like that Nakai has this type parameter. I don't know what it is. Just seems confusing. Unknown module Nakai. It's right there. Nakai doesn't have the node type. Is it because it's like Nakai HTML? Yes, it is. Okay. Ooh. Response dot so let HTML, that is going to be HTML dot div. Is that a thing? Yes. Oh, yeah, that'll do. Is it that? Yeah. I quite like that it says just HTML though. And let's do something similar here. And now we can say, oh, that's a nice idea. I can use h1 text and p text and h1 text, and I can get rid of all this. And here I'm going to say, how do you do this? Is it like that? Oh, you still have to put the attributes on. Render? How does Nakai work? Nakai. Nakai is a string, so okay, cool. So I do need Nakai. So I can only in my modules that are like request handlers, I could import just HTML, and then in the middleware stack, I need Nakai full fat. Oh, I keep forgetting to change. Scene. Sorry about that. Nakai dot to string builder. Ah, it's because I'm not meant to do that. I meant to say request.map. Cool. The type is meant to be oh, it's because I'm mapping a request, not response. Response. There we go. Cool. Cool. I have got HTML. Is that what I want? Yeah, why not? What might we want next? Some logging requests might be nice. Or maybe I should just fix that that relative part. No, I'll put if I'm going to do framework stuff, I'll put it in. I'll just make a new file called framework, and I can move that over to the other package when I fix the bug. So let's see what it looks like if we put and there. Oh, is it really just what's it moaning about? Action test. Oh yes, action test. Cool. This is never used. This whole function is never used. This response thing is never used. String builder is never used. Nope, it is used. Cool. Okay, so let's have a test that says if you are posting to the home page, it doesn't work. Post. Where's my test? Here it is. What is method not allowed? Go on Copilot, do it for me. Yeah. Is that right? Method not allowed. 503, yes it is. Cool. Method not allowed. 405. Okay, so I was sort of thinking it would be nice if you could do something like this. Where's request? Oh, no, I've already got request in it. Cool. I don't care what the body type is. I say like framework require method post. Oh, get rather. Oh, good luck with your interview. So we say like if it's just a get request that's permitted. So if you're in here, then it returns this method not allowed function. But because it's in the framework, it can't know how to actually construct your method not allowed page. Like you would have to specify it in some fashion. So my thought would be that it could just return, yeah, it could just return like an empty body, and then you can have like a final middleware that inserts the one you want. But I don't think that actually works here, because not only do you not know what the template is going to be, like if it's going to be HTML or if it's going to be JSON or whatever it's going to be, you don't even know what type it's going to be. Like you could be returning like just a string of JSON, or you could return a string builder of HTML, or you could return a file or anything. So I guess it would be that the framework would need to specify some constraints as to like what kind of response you would return. So you would need something. You would need something a bit more complicated. Which begs the question: like, would a framework want? I'm always really drawn towards modularity. So I'm always saying, oh, I really want the framework to allow you to bring your own view engine. Like, you know, you could use Nakai, you could use something else. But then you end up with all these tensions. Like, you then wouldn't be able to do this. Like, I could only have the framework be able to implement this if it knows that the response body, you know, was something like HTML. Maybe HTML, don't know. Yeah, exactly. Or file. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it's very annoying. What do other frameworks do? Like, what happens if you... I think they do it with like throw an exception. I want to... I'm not actually after the REST framework. I'm after like Django regular. Yeah, because in REST framework, they know exactly what the format's going to be. I just want like Django... How do you find the Django docs? Okay. Useless. Absolutely rubbish. No. No. Not very helpful. HTTP exceptions. That's not true. I've used Django. I just can't remember where anything is. Okay. I'm not sure what the answer is. I mean, because you would always pass it in, like that. But that's kind of awkward. Oh, gotta change scene again. I'll get that right one day. Yeah, you could do this. So you pass in the function, but doing that every time? That seems rubbish. Yeah, But what, you know, if this is just what if this is just not inside like a special framework? What if I just stop thinking about this as like a full fat Django like framework, and I think this more of you know, this is extensions to Gleam HTTP. So what if it had what if these were on the request module? Like it could have a bunch of usable functions called like require this or require that. Yeah? That doesn't seem terrible to me. Yeah. Yeah, should we do that? Yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, that's a good point. It'd be auto-completed the majority of the time. But you need to have another module to have your because you need, this would be in another module as well. So it'd be like web.method not allowed. And what if it needs the database? Then it'd be like, you know, yeah, it would need to be like, oh, well, this is an anonymous function, and this takes in the context. Oh, this should be context. So it'd be like, oh no, and I also need to pass in the request. Oh, so it'd be like state dot request. Oh, okay. It's getting really long. I'm not very into it. It's a bit sad. Like if I can't fit it on one line. Well, maybe every project would just define the because I don't. If you mod it all with results, you just can't do anywhere near as much as you can do if you're using use. It's a much more flexible. Like before use, I used to write everything with result, and it just got really convoluted because, yeah, you just can't really represent middleware with it. Yeah, so I think having convenience functions these things is probably the way to go. But I'm just trying to work out what a framework would look like, and if every application using your framework started with just like the same boilerplates of all these convenience functions, it seems really annoying. But then like Rails and Phoenix both do that. They both start with just like, here's a bunch of code which you can edit. Good luck with your interview. Have a good one. Yeah, Let's just start with I'm going to make a require method, and it's going to say context and state. I'll write things I think are useful in general, and then we work out from there. So pub fun. Go on. It's not quite what I want. What is it complaining about? I'm not gonna say no. Excuse me. I'm gonna say one method. Where is HTTP? And then we take next, which is a function which returns response of, what did he say that it's all going to be? Say node.t. There we go. Go on, Copilot, you can do it. Yeah, there we go. do I mean get? Yes. Are they all going to require the context? Are there going to be any methods that require things that aren't the context? Oh yeah, there are, because there's going to be some of them are going to... It's going to be annoying having like this context thing on all of them. I kind of wonder if I want to do the weird thing we saw in chat earlier, where we like pipe the context into a case, and these will just like return. Oh, I hate it. There we go. Hello, welcome. I'm being 5 to 10% productive, and the rest of it is just sort of me flapping about what a framework should be. So I'm not actually getting much done. I'm on TV. I've made it. Finally. Yeah, I don't. It's a bit weird. This takes a context now. What if function constant? Then I construct it every time, which I don't want to do. Not found. There we go. Cool. So I was thinking that matching the routers. Let's talk about routers. So I've gone for this design where I just pattern match. Where's the router? Here we go. So I just pattern match on, you know, like profile. Oh, look, it's your profile. And I'll say like users ID, and then it'll be user. This is my profile. This is profile of this person. And then I was thinking inside the profile function, I would start by saying either require a method, so it just returns if it isn't there, or you would match on the method. And so say like if it, yeah, like that kind of thing. So like if it is get, we can view the profile page. Otherwise, if it is post, it could be like updates profile, that kind of thing. So you end up with like 2 levels of nesting on a router. Does Gleam have async awaits? So we generally will use the concurrency primitives of whatever platform we're on. So in the Erlang world, it means no, it doesn't have async awaits, because it's much more like, well, it's like Erlang, it's like Go. So you don't have, there's no distinguish between async and sync code. You just write what looks like normal code, and then it's magically async for you, which in many ways is a lot easier to work with, which I really like. However, when we are compiling to JavaScript, because Gleam can also run in the browser, yeah, no function coloring on Erlang, but we do have function coloring on JavaScript. And the reason for that is that Gleam tries really hard to do nice interop, and we don't want to add any overtime, which means we don't implement any runtimes on top of other languages. Which means we can't implement like the Erlang concurrency model on top of JavaScript, which a language with a fat runtime might be able to. But then that really restricts where you can use it. So in JavaScript, we don't have an async await keyword, but we have use expressions. Let's get rid of these things. We've got use expressions, which means, let's open a new file. So you'd import the promise type from some library. So I haven't got this library in this project, but I'll just write what I would have. JavaScript. Is it promise? I think it's called promise. There we go. So I could do something like say I've got like some IO library. I don't know, whatever. So we say like the file is the result of calling promise.await on file.read. There you go. And then I can do something with the file here. And then I could like, you know, file 1, file 2. Yeah, there you go. So you could do something like that. So there's no async awaits, but it's got like another. We've got a thing which allows us to write async await in a nice way, which is similar to Haskell's do syntax, but it's actually a lot more flexible because it's not limited to. It's not specifically limited to monads or any type signature at all. It's mostly just a way of passing callbacks in. So this, the compiler is going to rewrite this to, what if I write, you know, I just write like 1, 2, 3, there we go. So this gets rewritten to this. File 1. There you go. It gets rewritten to that. So this expression and this expression is equivalent, and you could do like that's the same thing, and it turns out that's useful in loads of places. So I'm pretty happy with it. Making callbacks cool again. Callbacks? Making callbacks. Yeah, it's really cool. We spent ages sort of thinking about approaches to this, and then we implemented this. We designed it and implemented it, and then we discovered that 2 other languages have exactly the same thing, or at least not exactly the same thing. They've got almost exactly the same thing. One of them is Coca, I think. I've never heard anyone say that in person, so I'm assuming it's called Coca, but it's Koka, which is a really cool language, and Rock, which is the sort of Elm-like language, and they've both got almost the same thing. But I think both of them require the callback function to take a single argument, but in Gleam it can be any arity. It could be 0, it could be 12, you know, you pick a number, it's yours. Why is the call to await needed though? Because if you're compiling to JavaScript, any non-blocking operation is going to return a promise. And so you could call promise.map, which is in the promise module, but you know, it's quite nice to use the use syntax for that, just because you end up with less nesting. Anyway, let's keep trying to make some web app stuff. Actually, I'm going to run it. That'd be fun. Hey, look at that. If I go somewhere else, hey, it's working. Yeah, it's quite different to Haskell Gleam. It's a lot simpler, and we do lots of things that are sort of like syntax transforms or almost syntax transforms. I say lots of things. A handful of fancy features are much more about syntax or conventionally sort of stuff, rather than being around a type. Like, you couldn't write the type of the use expression because it can be many different types. It doesn't have an interface. But you just have an interface you could explain with types. It has an interface you could explain with words, which is, it's more powerful. It's more expressive using the academic definition of expressive. Like, you can represent more things with it. It'd be really cool to have a Gleam for Haskell users section. Cool. So Hey Eddie, welcome to the stream. What do I want to do now? I think I want to... Well, I've got HTML now, so why don't I commit? What have I done? So let's reload this because I've got that annoying error from a file that doesn't exist anymore. So I've added HTML. Let's do that. Add HTML rendering. What do we want now? Maybe we want the database. I guess I need to make a decision about whether I'm going to use SQLite or Postgres. SQLite's very easy to work with. I like SQLite. Terso. What's Terso? I don't know what that is. Terso. Welcome to Data Edge. Go away, cookie banner. It's like some sort of like globally distributed SQLite. That looks pretty cool. I think I would just, because I'm old fashioned, I would just use SQLite and then I'd have like a cron job that calls a backup calls a backup script. But one thing I've been meaning to look up, try for ages, is this one. This looks really cool. Yeah, it's like a little program you run next to your app, and then what does it do? I'm not sure what it does. Like I don't know how it works, brother. But it connects to your SQLite database, and then like every few seconds or whatever, or like whenever the write ahead log changes or something like that, it like copies that and sends it to S3 or something, which is really nice. The Terso? I'm going to say Terso. The Terso thing looks like it's a service though, while this is like an open source tool. I find the fact that this is just like a program and I can, run it myself and I can change it. I find that quite attractive. I find services for database a bit scary because I'm always like, what happens if that service stops working or becomes expensive or something like that? I don't know. I'm quite conservative when it comes to databases. What is the backwards arrow operator? So where's that? That is here. So this is our use expressions, which is something I just explained. It's like a way of writing callbacks, but in a non-nested style. So this code where it says require method, it's the same as if I wrote that. Oh god, that's a horrible formatting. There you go. So it's the same as that. Hey, welcome. Okay, SQLite then. Is that what we think we want to do? I like SQLite. Let's do that. It certainly makes testing a lot easier because I can just create a new database every time and not worry about it. Yeah, let's do that. Gleam add. What did I call the library I made? SQLite. Let's compile that. It's going to take a little while because it's got a bunch of C code in it. I think I have an example application that has SQLite in here somewhere. This one. Database. Yeah, so I've got like this with connection function that just like opens a connection, runs the rest of the body, and does my config stuff. So that looks really useful. In fact, all this looks quite useful. Maybe I'll just copy all of this. Mm-hmm. Um, database path. Preamble. There's probably some other stuff I want to turn on as well, like all the concurrency things. Oh yes, that one. That. I probably want that, right? Who knows SQLite? Oh, what have I just done? Should I be using this? Gleam is React ready. There is actually a React library that has use state in that same way. Actually, let's see if we can find it. React Gleam. This has got to have it, right? Counter. Oh, component. Yeah, use state. There you go. Oh no, that's let. Oh, I guess I guess because it does all the magic in JavaScript, you wouldn't need to use for that. But it does for component. There you go. Can we have Gleam JSX? What would it do? I don't know. Like, I don't dislike. This is a bit hairy, but I think with like a better formatter and optional arguments, this could be nicer. Like, I really would like the formatter to format this like this. I think that'd be a lot nicer. But it isn't quite clever enough to do that yet. It is quite similar to Elm, the language in some ways. It's another simple ML family language like Elm. We don't have, yeah, there's some differences, but it's pretty close. Hey Brett, welcome. So, what if we put in, what if we now had a, oh, let's put the test runner back on. So, where is my app? So, I want this to be state. DB. Do I want to go to DB? Yeah. Connection. And let's use that. There we go. So I have this function. It takes this continuation, which I'm going to, F is a rubbish name. Let's call it next. It takes this next function as a second argument, and then that means I can call it using use. I'm going to have to find a better way of saying that, like this. And that means that it will run all these things, and when it gets to the end of the function, it will well, control is yielded back to this function, which would then do whatever happens next. And here it looks like it's doing nothing, but actually it's also using use. So it's really saying open here, and then at the end it closes. Cool, so I've got a connection, and I probably want to start every... I want to start every request I want to sync the data. I want to migrate the database, right? Yeah, let's do that. So what is the approach to security when writing our own SQL? We've got low-level database clients, so we just do what databases say do what relational databases say you're supposed to do, and we just use query parameters. So never build up any SQL ever, which I quite like because I am an SQL apologist, and I think ORMs are bad and SQL is good. Other opinions are available. Anyway, when do we migrate the database? Hey, here we go. So I just call it exec and I pass in a bunch of statements. Strict. Cool, that sounds good. So this application is going to be a form. It's going to be a sign up form. So database schema. I sound like Rich Harris. Oh, isn't it? Where's he from? He's the Clojure guy, right? No? Oh, maybe not. Clojure. Who am I thinking of? Who created Clojure? Rich Hickey. Who's Rich Harris then? Harris. Good hair. He's the svelte guy. Ah, okay. But he lives in New York. I'm assuming he's like he's a Brit or something then. Ah, rubbish. Damn you, Elon. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to create a database, create a table. What should the table be called? Table should be called applications, maybe. Pasting this existing stuff. So applications. Yeah, I like this Rich guy. Rich says that people should just learn SQL. I agree. SQL rules. So good. I'm rubbish at it, but I really like it. So one of my big problems with ORMs is that like it strongly encourages you to write. Let's get rid of all this stuff. It strongly encourages you to write a sort of really limited subset of SQL and to do everything in your application code. But I think that a lot of things when you're just manipulating data, databases are really good at, or at least relational databases are really good at, especially ones like Postgres. I mean, less so with SQLite because it doesn't do as much, but it's amazing what you can do in Postgres with like recursive queries and window expressions and yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. SQL is kind of a terrible language though. I mean, I think my stance on it is that it's bad, but it's like the least bad of all the options we've got at the moment. Ooh, it's got a bit sunny. I hope my green screen still works if it gets sunny. Okay, so how do you auto-generate a UUID? I've only ever used ORMs. Do you have any resources to learn just plain SQL? I've got a book here which I think is really good. Let me see if I can reach it. I've positioned my desk really awkwardly, like in a tiny little. Oh, sorry about that. In a tiny little thing to make everything fit, so it's quite hard to reach anything. This book here is really good. Really recommend it. It's quite expensive, but if you work somewhere, just get them to buy it for your team because it's absolutely fantastic. Really, really recommend it. Oh, I can't fit it back in the thing. Yeah, I just read SQL books and hope, and then spend way too long writing SQL because I don't do it quite enough to be good at it. But SQL rules. I think the biggest problem with SQL is that like there's a lot of boilerplate that ORMs just do for you. Like writing out the lists of every single field is really annoying. I'm not entirely sure how to get around that. Anyway, SQLite primary key UUD auto generate. SQL injection's like super easy to avoid. Just use the database client properly. Like if you're concatenating SQL, then you're in trouble. But like ORMs are all about concatenating SQL, so I don't understand how they make the problem go away. Like I think it's there's always like a fragment function in ORMs. I want to know how to generate SQLite generate UUID. There must be a way to generate it. Yeah. No? Is there just like no UUID function in? That's what I just read. Is there really no UUID in SQLite? That seems really strange. Oh, here we go. That's not what I wanted. Documentation. UUID. Functions. There we go. Now. Date time functions, window functions, math functions, JSON functions. I guess they just don't have UUIDs. That's annoying. I guess I just start with an integer for now. Oh, my watch is buzzing at me. Okay, cool. So I think the way that this form thing should work is that if you go to the home page or you go to like a new application thing, it starts by creating an application, and then you go through you get shown like a question per page, and then for each page it submits it like adds data to that application. You can pull the Gleam ID library. I forget the name. I know of excuse me. I know of Greg's UID package, but I think that doesn't compile anymore because Greg hasn't been around in ages. Package. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Packages. ID. Oh, unique IDs. Oh, this probably does work then, because this isn't Greg's one. Ooh. Oh, I don't know what nano UID and CUID are. Let's find out. Collision resistant IDs. Thank you. My hair is almost entirely motivated by laziness, because I just like, it's the easiest possible haircut is just to shave the sides and then just like ignore the top. And then someone left this clip at my house the other day, and then I've just been wearing it ever since. I really like it. Brett says, I use Nanoid a lot for my personal projects. That was this one, right? This other ID type. Why? What do you like about it? Tell me why this is good. Should I use this one? Short IDs uses a larger alphabet than UUID. So yeah, that sounds good. Comparison to UUID. So it's just, but the default encoding of it is nicer. Okay. And it's potentially faster. Because I always think that like we generate UUIDs, but we should just encode them differently. Like it's 100. Yeah, why don't we just base 64 encode them or something like that? I use it a lot because it's URL safe. Says Brett. That's legit. Let's do that. I'm sold. So what does it return? Oh, that was not. That doesn't. There we go. Nano ID. It's kind of annoying that like it's kind of annoying that it's like URL safe, but it returns a bit string. Oh no, it says here it returns a string. Oh, default alphabet. No, that's just a constant. Okay. And what situations would it ever return an error? Ooh. I'm pretty sure that generating one random string is not going to be the thing that makes my web application slow. Bitstring could not be converted to string. You know, I would be tempted to make this library crash. Like, can it really error? Can it actually error? Like, I don't think there's a meaningful yeah, I don't think there's any meaningful error cases here. I think they should always succeed. Like, it should just crash, right? Is there anything that can fail? Check args. Where does that go? Can you actually pass in the alphabet? Default. Oh, okay. So there's like a default. So where? Yeah, but the only public function is generate. Like I think the public API is completely safe. Like you know that the conversion to a string is going to succeed. Where does this live? Yeah, like we're creating all of the ideas. Why would you? Yeah, I just wouldn't return errors. I might open a issue for that. Oh, this is the wrong browser. I can't make an issue. Yeah, I don't like. There's no way for this to fail. So I think it should always. I think it should just return a string. Let me just do this in a different browser real quick. So it's a really cool library. New issue. Consider returning string, not result string for nano ID. Hello. It looks like there is no way. Gosh, that sun is really warm. There is no way for the user to incorrectly use the function. It always succeeds, but the programmer is forced to handle the error. Could it instead return a string? defaults could. I think this will improve the user experience. Thanks, Louis. Fab, cool. Let's go. Gleam add ID. Oh no, that's not a thing. IDs. Nice. Nano ID. What's it gonna do? Come on, Copilot, do something cool. Oh wow! Do you think that's actually a valid implementation of Nano ID? I mean, you know, if this was JavaScript, which it isn't, it's pretty cool though. Gosh, it's getting so warm with that sun. Quite uncomfortable. There we go. So, what did I say? I said this was an integer. I want it to be strong. String. Oh, no. And is there a timestamp? I don't think there is a timestamp type in. What did I do in my other application? Create an app. Where's the time? Is there a timestamp here? There you go. Oops. Oh, I'll do it. Pressing too many buttons. Valid created at. There we go. I can't remember what I called this. What did I call it? Database schema. Oh no! Oh no, sorry. One day I will remember to switch screens, but it won't be soon. I wonder if I can get like OBS to automatically focus like whichever one of the windows I'm using. That would be really handy. I think I'm getting to the point I've got slightly too many things in one file. Like, it's not a big file, but there's like a lot of like largely unrelated things, so I'm tempted to split it out, but I'm not gonna, not just yet. Or am I? I'm gonna split the test out at least. Hell no, I'm not brave enough to share my entire desktop. Oh, could you imagine? Also, I've got like a wide monitor, so it just looked really weird. Leak their FetLife data. If you look on the Wayback Machine, the FetLife staff page, you'll find my face on there because I used to work there. Shouldn't have told you that. Yeah, a guy I used to work with at a Ruby SaaS company. He went on to be the CTO of FetLife, so he hired me for like half a year to work on some Rails stuff. Back when I did Rails. They're a really talented team, the FetLife people, really skilled. Like, they're really small and they're getting loads of stuff done. So, test. What do I want? What do I want to test? I want to test. I made the video player. You can only imagine what testing that was like. It was eye-opening, that's for sure. Oh dear. Debugging production. Yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, let's go over to, so let's make some functions. Nice. Nice. Oh! Oh, I need to make times. Look. Datetime.now. Oh. I don't have a way of making times at the moment. I need to add another library. Burl. Burl's pretty cool. Let's use Burl. I presume I make a datetime in here. I don't know how I've done that, but there you go. I've done that. Do you just drag them? Oh yeah, look, you drag them. You could like put anything. Could I put it here? No, I can't put it here. I've added Burl, but I don't actually know if that was a good idea or not. Because I could just do it inside the database for now, can't I? Let's call this generate. Hey, is that an SQLite thing? Is that, or has Copilot just invented that for me? What do you think? Nope. 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 SQLite function, dates functions. Thank you, Haley. I'm glad you think it looks good to you. I don't know what it is though. So where to get the current time? Caveats and bugs. It has a bug section. Nice. SQLite current time. No, God no, I don't want to do this. The SQLite function time recurs in the current time as text. Oh. That sounds good. So if I just said date time, select date time. Oh, oh, nice. Let's do that. What happens if I put now in it? Exactly the same thing. What? What's the point of that then? Okay. Daytime now. I mean, it seems kind of clear. Let's do that. So SQLite.text. String. I've written string here. Why have I done that? That's not a thing, is it, in SQLite? Text. exec expects 3 arguments because it's going to be query. Arguments. And I'm expecting a 4th one. What's the, is it this? Let's also just sort these. So we're only returning. Oh, we don't even need to return anything. We can literally just, we already have the ID. That would be the only thing we would get back from this. So all we need to do is execute it. There's no arguments. There's no decoder. Apparently the database is second. And then we can just return the ID. Awesome. Where's the database thing? Database. Cool. No, that's Rust. Thank you, Copilot. With SQLite database, and is that how you do it? I think that's how you do it. ID1 is action.create application. Ooh, look at that. Null constraint failed. Not null constraint failed. Application.id. Why is that? Okay. So there are arguments. But the decoder is just okay, because it just returns. Yeah. The decoder is just a function that always returns an okay. Cool. What assertions do we want to make about this? I want Gleam unit. So ID1 should not equal? Is that a thing? Helps if I actually pass it in. Yes. And yeah, Copilot really does like semicolons. There used to be white space in Gleam, so it would have been fine, but no, someone made me change it, which is a good idea. I think we should also check the length. Should it? Why does Copilot think it should be that? Is it always 21? Okay. Yeah, works for me. I kind of like doing this for like simple scalar values. And then in future we'll just replace it with like that, but Gleam doesn't have that yet. Maybe that'll be the next thing I do. Cool. So what else do we want to store? I suppose we want like answers. What was the other thing I was testing? Oh, like the length. Yeah. whatever. It's basically just testing that the ID is random. Doesn't really test much though, does it? How do I mute? I need to cough. Excuse me. Right. Answers. ID. Do. That's just going to be an integer. Integer. How do you do references in SQLite? Does it actually have a references thing? Oh, it does. Cool. So, oh, look at that. Hey, how was your interview? Did it go well? Awesome. What was it for? Oh, nice. Is it actually with Gitpod or is it with another one? I feel like all the things you interview for sound really like just cool and interesting. Like when I'm interviewing, it's like, oh yeah, it's some accounting software that doesn't work properly. So I'm thinking being picky is good. So I'm thinking answers. Do I need to have a unique primary key? I guess I don't. Can you do composite primary key in SQLite? Composite site. Cool. Okay. And how do you do references? Foreign key. Oops, I didn't need to click on that. Foreign key, yeah. Oh no, what's my error? Near comma. Do you not put? What's the bit that's the error? Ah, there it is. Oh, they make code server. I've heard of that. Code server looks rad. It's one of those things I keep meaning to play with. Like, I kind of think I want to have a really powerful computer in my house, and then I just like connect to it over a VPN. But I don't own a really. I own a relatively powerful laptop, and my server is a Raspberry Pi, so I'd have to like just change everything about my home setup. No, uppercasing in SQL is bad. I mean, I don't like. So my ideal would be that all this stuff lives in its own files, and then I would have normal syntax highlighting. But we need some way of including files into source at compile time, and I don't know what that is yet. I I would own this the thing. I would run a server and then I'd run code server on it rather than using like a you know, some service they offer. Does Gleam embed work with magic comments? Like, how does it know where to put the things? A Mac Mini would be a cool choice. Although I hear Mac Minis are a pain in the butt to use headlessly. Like we used to, when I was working at the video game place, we'd have a bunch of them in a rack somewhere, and it would be annoying because every now and again there'd just be a day when CI doesn't work because somebody has to go to the building where the Mac Minis are and like do something. Like they would just refuse to let people connect until you've like fiddled with the GUI. So like if you were away from home and then it decides to do like an update or something, it would be yeah, annoying. You have to like phone someone and tell them to go to your house and press OK. Could have an attribute for it. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. Or is it a bad idea? It's an idea. It sounds pretty cool. I mean, we could all, if we come up with a meta programming thing that's like replaces it later, we could deprecate it, I suppose. But like, it's as a thing to add today, it seems neat. I like it. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So like, it could be something like embed schema.sql. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a cool idea. We don't have a. Oh hey, it's Endo Funky. Good to see you, dude. I haven't seen you in ages. Yeah, people keep asking for macro systems, and I feel like I might just add the C preprocessor and be like, there you go, you got what you asked for. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it could be optional. What would it do if you didn't have embed? Error? It looks a bit weird. Scheming Gleam, that's the end goal, 100%. You're angering Haley. So answers. I've just realized I've added no actual information to this whatsoever. So it should have question. Should it have the full text? Yeah. That seems sensible. Should it be called answers? Answer.answer? That seems weird. Maybe it shouldn't be called answers. Is there a name for a question and an answer being given together? Response, yeah. But kind of be like if we made like a response type, it would look like the HTML response type though, which would be confusing. Q&A. I don't really like database tables that have multiple words in them. Or maybe you'd have a questions table. Actually, yeah, that's the correct way to do it in like a database way, isn't it? Like the questions table. But I can't be asked. Yeah, there must be a word for it. Well, things. Submissions? It sounds like the whole thing though, rather than just like a single question. Thingy. anyway. Record answer. Oh yeah, if you've got a book that makes a thing, check it out and tell me what the answer is. Oh, look at that. That looks well good. Thank you, computer. Application you created a. So let's say like. Let's give these labels. Let's give these labels to make them a little bit clearer. It could return an SQLite error. Is that what I want? I'm not sure that is what I want. Let's make an error type. Do I want a global error for the whole application? Yeah, let's start with one. Application not found. Or should just always succeed? Yeah, okay, application not found. Let's just do that. There we go. Cool. What have I done here? Case. So if it's anything, we just return OK nil. If it is any error, let's return database error. Cool. That sounds good. And created at question answer. Is that all the things we put on there? Application created at tech question answer. Yeah, cool. That's not what I wanted. Record answer. Answer no. Slim Shady. I don't actually have any way of testing this. I guess I need to like source. Calls them responses. Yeah. Maybe we should just look at thesaurus. How do you spell thesaurus? Thesaurus. My watch is moaning at me to move. Have I done enough exercise today? Yeah. Response, reply, return, hit, retort. I quite like retort. Reply. Knee-jerk reaction is nice too. Nice. Yeah, I like that it's got a sausage case thing going on. What do I even know? Antiphon? Antiphon? Say yes. Oh well. Right. Oh, Copilot is on form today, except for the doesn't understand the decoder thing. Have I got dynamic in here? Oh, almost. Decode 3. Dynamic.element. Oh, I do have it already. Nice. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no, there's a problem. I shouldn't have modeled it this way. This is bad. I should use an actual primary key. That makes a lot more sense. Because like I'm inserting things way too quickly in the tests. I was like, a person can't possibly submit the form like, you know, multiple times in a millisecond or whatever. But yeah, that's not how tests work. Integer auto increment. Boom. Yeah, let's just make the code sleep. That'll do it. No, I just have a function which will increment the system clock after inserting an answer. I think that'll work. One, two. Is it list answers? Yeah. Nice. 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 Do I care about the timestamps? Maybe. I've got string, so I could do something like did I? What did I call it? Good luck writing the talk. I'm coughing a lot today. Where's my answer type? Okay, I've got to create it out. So let's say that created at order. Maybe I should have put it less. Should not equal greater. That'll do. Cool. Not bad. Let's make some. What have we done? We've done a wee bit of wait, what did I just say we did? We've added a database, and then we've got a small amount of code for inserting stuff in the database. Cool. Oh, I need to make a repo for this. I should probably stop at some point. It's like 7 o'clock here and I've not really eaten. New repository. Do I put this under my account? Yeah, why not? Let's put this under my account. I have eaten, as in I've had I had breakfast and I had lunch. I think I had lunch. Pretty sure I've had lunch, but it's dinner time and I've not had dinner. Pretty sure I've had lunch. Banging. Cool. Let's add some things we want to do. Log when requests are received. Got a database. What else do we want to do? Read database file location from environment. Have a UI for starting a new application. Data creates data model for progressing through the questions in the application. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. Create HTML form for application question. Validates form submission, source submission. Yeah, it wants to say submission. Database. Eventual consistency. No, that's what I meant. That's not at all what I want. I want eventual. Thank you, page. Do I need a data model? I could just make it really dumb. Like if I just hard code all the questions in HTML, then it just like goes from one to the next. HTML pages for each question. And do we need admin stuff? Maybe we don't at the beginning. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, maybe we should have like it not look shit. HTML layouts. Basic styling. Which would involve serving static assets, I suppose. Deploy to Heroku? No way. Do I even need that? I could just do it with, I could just like always send the CSS file. Yeah. Deploy to Fly. I think this thing might end up being deployed to a VPS, because like the people who I'm making this for have a server. Also, like Fly's not great for. That's not true. Fly isn't great for SQLite unless you use Lightstream or LightFS. So maybe I should like look into how those things work. That would be really cool. It'd be really nice if I come at the other end of this and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just like helping a friend with something. I would. So there's multiple goals: making a thing for some friends, and also get to do some streaming, and also learn a little bit more about web stuff in Gleam, and maybe work out what a tiny web framework might look like in Gleam. So I always try and do things that have like, if I do something, I always try and make sure there's like multiple benefits to it at the same time, because I'm just like way too time short to not try and maximize on efficiency like that. What's this complaining about? Oh, there's a case that I didn't cover. So what if where are the tests? Let's start with the tests again. So what happens if duplicate answer test? So let's grab So what happens if we give a question, answer the same question twice? It could fail, or it could overwrite the answer. If we let people go back and re-answer questions, the easiest way to implement that is to let them... It just overwrites. Is that the best way to do it? I think it might be. There's actually a problem with this data model. Like, what if the question's multiple choice, That's annoying. It's not always going to be like the same text, is it? I suppose I could just store JSON in there. That sounds kind of annoying. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I think you need to store the I think you need to know the type of for the form, but actually how would you put that in the database? Yeah, so like you could do okay, you could have a type, couldn't you? So you could have like valid answer. You could have like question answer. You could have like answer type text not null text number date. True false multiple choice text. Yeah. But would you just turn it into JSON? Like, so if it was multiple choice, would that mean you like turn them into a JSON array and put them in there? I mean, that would work. But you could have like multiple choice and then an other. Like, yeah, I mean, the other thing you could do is like make another table for it, but I don't know if that is all that practical. I probably need to like ask the guys what questions they want asking. I'm sort of like preempting something here. Let's just assume this is fine. This is fine. Let's just ignore it. It's fine. And then when I see the list of questions, I'll be like, oh, okay, I need to have this type as well. That's what I do for now. Okay, so I think it should overwrite. Where's the test? There it is. Dave. Oh no, there's two of them. There's only meant to be one. Ah. What do I do? On conflict. Let's start by actually making it fail with a unique constraint in my database thingy. What's that? I always forget the syntax. Go away. Oh wow, you need you can actually. Oh, I think you could do this bit. That's interesting. Unique application ID and question. Nice. And then in my SQL, I can't read this. Hold on, let's make it nice. Updates. That's what I want. Huh. Okay, so unique constraint failed. Answers to application ID. Answers question. Oh, because I've just put this in the wrong place. I won't need it. What an absolute fool. Oh, and I've also not showing the screen. Oh, just pretend I was being competent. Good. Actually, you didn't see my my mistake, so that's all cool. There we go. Right. So on conflict, application ID, question, update these things. It's not called update. What is it called? SQLite on con. Ah, is it do? No, that's not. SQLite on conflict. Let's look that up. On conflict. Oh, so it's much less fine-grained than Postgres's one. You can only do these things. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, that sounds like it's enough for this particular use case, but I'm surprised that you can't be more fine-grained than like only replace certain fields. I guess you just do a second query, but that seems a bit rubbish. On conflict, replace. Can you not just not do it in a insert? Where does this get used? Can I look this up somewhere? Column. Oh. Okay. SQLite insert on conflict. Can you just not do this? SQL language upsert on conflict. Insert into That looks. I thought that was what I had previously. On conflict, do update. For example, in this. On conflict. Okay, cool. So this is as powerful as the Postgres one. On conflict, do update. Okay. Is it because I missed the set? My recording answers test is not working, and that is because why is that? Application ID question. Is it that I've made both of them unique? What have I done wrong? Is it just, it's... Which line? It'd be really nice if this had line numbers, wouldn't it? Okay, let's look at the test and work out where it is. I think it is... So there are two. Let's start by just Let's print them both. See what we get. Because the ordering isn't deterministic. Because we're sorting by the timestamp and we're inserting things really quickly. Okay. And then we used and that was fine before because SQLite was preserving the order. But because it's indexed now, the ordering is different. Okay, that's fine. So we just add another. Where's my debug statement? So when we query them, let's also sort by question. Yay. Nice. Okay. And I think the other part of this I want to test because I've already made some mistakes here, and so I'm going to be a bit more thorough than I might otherwise be. I want to check that if I insert one for a different application and insert an answer for it with the same question. Nope. There we go. Because I inserted it for the wrong ID. Cool. Okay, so you can reuse a question for a different application. Banging. Answers are unique to applications. Awesome. Okay. And it's like 20 past 7. That'll do. That's going to be enough for today. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I think, yeah, I quite like this streaming stuff. I think maybe I will. I'm not getting much done, but that's okay. Maybe I'll keep streaming the making of this application, and we'll go through the whole thing. I don't know how useful it'll be, but we'll just see. All right, bye everyone.